Pat Sajak, and Wheel of Fortune have been inseparable for more than 4 decades, a comforting presence in millions of American living rooms. He welcomed contestants with calm humor, guided them through spinning letters and solving puzzles, and made the familiar game feel like a family ritual. To viewers, he seemed untouchable, a host whose steadiness was as dependable as the sunrise. Yet behind the easy smile and flawless timing, something quietly stirred, something that would eventually push him to step away from the very stage he had called home for decades. When the news broke, rumors spread immediately. Some whispered that contract disputes had forced his hand, others speculated about behind-the-scenes tension or fading relevance. Fans struggled to reconcile the composed, ever-present host they knew with the shocking reality that Pat Sajak had walked away. The truth, however, was far more personal, far more human, and far more unexpected than any headline could capture. For years he had balanced public expectation and private life with practiced ease, a tightrope act few could sustain. Until now, viewers had only seen the polished performance, the jokes, the spins, the warm exchanges with Vanna. What they hadn't seen was the quiet struggle reshaping his life. And when he finally revealed why he left Wheel of Fortune, the reason was heartbreakingly simple, yet impossible to ignore. Pat Sajak was born Patrick Leonard Sajak on October 26, 1946, in Chicago, Illinois, a city of industry, grit, and resilience. The son of a working-class family, he grew up in an environment where effort often mattered more than recognition, and where perseverance was learned long before any spotlight shone. Chicago's streets, busy and unyielding, were the backdrop for a boy who would later command the attention of millions, not through flamboyance, but through a quiet, unwavering presence. Even then, there was a hint of the patience and composure that would define his later career, a subtle steadiness that allowed him to navigate challenges others might see as insurmountable. From an early age, Sajak demonstrated a fascination with the spoken word. Words were not just sounds, they were instruments of connection, bridges between people. This fascination led him to Columbia College in Chicago, where he studied communications. While some of his peers sought careers defined by ambition or notoriety, Sajak gravitated toward radio, drawn by the intimacy of voice and the chance to reach people through sound alone. He didn't wait for permission. While still in school, he began working as a disc jockey, honing a natural ease behind the microphone. The clarity in his speech, the timing of his humor, and the warmth in his tone were evident even in those early broadcasts. Yet life was not confined to classrooms or recording booths. From 1968 to 1970, Sajak served in the United States Army during the Vietnam War. Unlike many soldiers whose experience was measured in combat, his weapon was his voice. Assigned to Armed Forces Radio, he greeted fellow soldiers each morning, bringing a sense of normalcy and comfort to a world overshadowed by conflict. His broadcasts carried humor, familiarity, and reassurance, echoing the same levity that would decades later define his presence on television. Even amidst the uncertainty and tension of a war zone, Sajak's ability to connect through words remained unbroken. It was proof of a rare gift, the capacity to reach hearts without spectacle, to calm without command, and to entertain without overshadowing. Returning to civilian life, he did not pause to recalibrate. The 1970s offered new avenues and Sajak transitioned into television, first as a weatherman for KNBC in Los Angeles. It was there that his understated charm began to attract attention. He wasn't the loud personality that demanded focus. Instead, his calm delivery, subtle humor, and genuine demeanor stood out against a city crowded with performers chasing the limelight. Audiences felt at ease with him, whether he was reporting a sunny forecast or a sudden storm. Something about his presence suggested reliability, a quiet assurance that would later become essential for the millions tuning in to Wheel of Fortune. These early years reveal a pattern. Sajak thrived not through spectacle, but through connection, patience, and quiet determination. Chicago gave him resilience. College gave him skill. The Army gave him purpose. Los Angeles gave him visibility. And in each setting, the qualities that would define his television career, calmness under pressure, a knack for levity, and an instinct for human connection, were quietly forged. By the time M.V. Griffin noticed him in the early 1980s, Sajak was not merely a broadcaster or a personality. He was a man shaped by decades of experience, a man who understood the value of patience, of trust, and of voice as a bridge between strangers. His journey to television stardom was not abrupt, nor was it driven by ambition alone. It was cultivated through persistence, through listening, and through a rare ability to make those around him feel seen and understood. The stage was not yet set, but the foundation was complete. By the early 1980s, Pat Sajak's steady voice and calm presence had begun to attract attention beyond local television. In 1981, M.V. Griffin, the creator of Wheel of Fortune, faced a pivotal decision. The show's original host, Chuck Woolery, had departed amid salary disputes, leaving a national daytime audience uncertain about the program's future. Griffin, searching for a replacement, noticed something rare in Sajak, a host who would not dominate the stage, but would elevate others. He saw a man capable of putting contestants at ease, while maintaining a rhythm that invited viewers to return night after night. Network executives hesitated, questioning whether Sajak's understated demeanor could carry a national game show. Griffin insisted, believing the magic of Wheel of Fortune lay not in flashy personalities but in human connection. By 1983, the show launched in national syndication with Sajak at the helm. The format was simple: spin the wheel, solve the puzzle, win the prize. Yet what transformed this formula into a cultural phenomenon was Sajak's warmth and authenticity. He became a trusted companion in living rooms across the country, a host whose humor never felt forced and whose calm presence made every contestant feel recognized. The early years were not without experimentation. In 1989, Sajak tested his versatility with The Pat Sajak Show, a late-night talk program on CBS competing with Johnny Carson. Despite his charm, the show struggled and was canceled within a year. Sajak returned to Wheel of Fortune without bitterness, demonstrating patience, humility, and resilience, qualities that endeared him to audiences for decades. By the 1990s, Sajak's presence was firmly established. In 1997, he officially began co-hosting full-time with Vanna, forming the longest-running game show duo in U.S. television history. Their interactions appeared effortless. He guided, she revealed, but the ease belied decades of practice and unspoken understanding. Sajak's focus remained on contestants, the audience, and the rhythm of the show. Together they cultivated a welcoming, consistent atmosphere, transforming a half-hour game show into a comforting ritual for millions. As the 2000s unfolded, Sajak's dry wit and subtle sarcasm added texture, occasionally catching contestants by surprise, but always highlighting the humanity behind the production. He engaged in political commentary through interviews and columns, demonstrating that his voice extended beyond the puzzle board. His professionalism remained steadfast, a testament to his discipline and respect for viewers. Even health challenges underscored his dedication. In 2019, emergency intestinal surgery forced Sajak to step away temporarily, with Vanna filling in as host. Viewer response was immediate and heartfelt. His absence highlighted the impact of his calm, consistent presence, revealing how extraordinary his routine guidance and warmth had been for decades. By 2021, Guinness World Records officially recognized Pat Sajak and Vanna as the longest-running game show host duo in U.S. television history. This acknowledgement celebrated not just longevity, but consistency, trust, and the quiet mastery of human connection. Sajak had transformed a simple game show into a cultural institution, guiding contestants and viewers alike through decades of change with his steady, reassuring voice. By the mid-2000s, Pat Sajak's presence on Wheel of Fortune had become more than familiar, it was foundational. Yet behind the calm humor and precise timing, a quiet reckoning was taking place. Sajak had spent decades guiding contestants, delighting audiences, and cultivating a cultural institution. But there was a growing awareness that life beyond the puzzle board required attention. The decision to step away from the show was not sparked by contract disputes, ratings pressure, or scandal. It was deeply personal, a matter of family, values, and well-being. Throughout his career, Sajak had managed the delicate balance between public expectation and private life with practiced ease. By the 2000s, the demands of a daily television schedule, the weight of decades of consistent performance, and the desire to be fully present for loved ones became impossible to ignore. His reflections in the final episodes, though understated, revealed a profound gratitude. He acknowledged contestants who had shared their excitement and nerves, thanked staff who had worked tirelessly behind the scenes, and celebrated Vanna, whose partnership had been steady and enduring. Every word, every gesture, conveyed more than professionalism. It conveyed genuine human connection. Family was at the heart of his decision. Leslie Brown, his wife, and their children, Maggie and Patrick, had long been a source of grounding in his life. On the show, he had mentored Maggie, offering guidance not as a host but as a father, a subtle testament to his prioritization of personal relationships. For Sajak, leaving the stage was not a retreat from achievement but an affirmation of what truly mattered: love, integrity, and the time spent with those closest to him. There was also an acute awareness of the changing dynamics surrounding the show: audience sensitivities, evolving cultural expectations, and the occasional controversy had reminded him that longevity carried responsibility. Stepping away at the right moment ensured that he could preserve the dignity of his legacy, exiting not in scandal or dissatisfaction, but with a quiet, measured sense of completion. The tension between professional commitment and personal priorities was real, but Sajak approached it with the same steadiness that had defined his career. In these moments, viewers witnessed more than the departure of a host. They glimpsed a man who had chosen to align his life with his values. The decision resonated not as a dramatic announcement, but as a quiet, emotional truth. It was not fame, money, or recognition that drove him, but a commitment to family and personal integrity. For decades he had been a guide, a companion, and a reassuring presence. In stepping back, he was honoring those same principles in his own life. Ultimately, the micro payoff for the audience was profound. The narrative shifted from speculation about contracts or ratings to an intimate understanding of Sajak's priorities. The reason behind his departure was heartbreakingly simple yet powerful. It was about love, family, and the preservation of a legacy built on dignity and authenticity. This realization reframed the story of Wheel of Fortune, reminding viewers that even behind the most familiar smiles and routines, personal courage and emotional clarity often lie unseen. Even after stepping away from Wheel of Fortune, Pat Sajak's influence and legacy endured, quietly shaping the show and the broader cultural landscape. By the time he left, he and Vanna had been recognized by Guinness World Records as the longest-running game show host duo in U.S. television history, a milestone that celebrated not only longevity, but trust, consistency, and a rare mastery of human connection. Their partnership, honed over decades, had become emblematic of reliability and warmth, transforming a half-hour game show into a ritual that punctuated the daily lives of millions. Sajak's reflections after leaving revealed a profound sense of fulfillment. He often spoke about mentorship, not only toward staff and contestants, but also toward his own family. Watching Maggie step into the spotlight as a guest on the show, seeing Patrick grow and pursue his own path, Sajak recognized that his guidance extended beyond the puzzle board. His influence was measured in small human moments, offering reassurance, modeling patience, and demonstrating that success could coexist with humility and empathy. These were the quiet victories that mattered most. The final episodes of the show carried a subtle yet powerful resonance. Sajak's words to contestants were infused with gratitude, acknowledging their courage and participation. He thanked the staff who worked tirelessly behind the scenes, their dedication essential to the show's seamless production. And his exchanges with Vanna, long partners in rhythm and timing, were more than performance. They were a testament to collaboration, trust, and enduring friendship. Every gesture, every pause, reflected the care with which he had conducted his career and the respect he held for everyone involved. Even in leaving, Sajak maintained a focus on human connection. The show had always been about more than spinning letters. It was about the relationships between host, contestants, and audience. His departure reinforced this truth. By stepping back while the program remained strong, he allowed Wheel of Fortune to continue thriving, ensuring that its warmth and familiarity endured. There was a dignity in leaving on a high note, a quiet strength in recognizing when the time had come to prioritize what truly mattered: family, personal values, and the legacy he wished to leave behind. Sajak's story after the show demonstrates that influence is not solely measured by presence on screen. It is found in the lives touched, the guidance offered, and the stability provided over decades. His calm humor, patience, and consistency became a benchmark for hosts who followed. A reminder that television could be both entertaining and human. Through mentorship, family involvement, and steadfast professionalism, Sajak ensured that his work would resonate long after the cameras stopped rolling. Ultimately, leaving Wheel of Fortune was not an ending, but a continuation of the principles that had defined his life. His story is one of quiet devotion, calm strength, and an unwavering focus on what matters most. While viewers may remember the jokes, the spins, and the iconic puzzle reveals, the emotional resonance lies in the values he embodied: integrity, humility, and love for family. In stepping back, Sajak preserved not only the show's dignity, but also the personal truths that had guided him all along. His journey behind the familiar smile reminds us that the most enduring legacies are rooted in human connection, compassion, and the courage to choose what is right over what is expected. Pat Sajak's journey on Wheel of Fortune was never solely about fame, fortune, or television ratings. It was about connection, consistency, and a quiet dedication to human relationships. From the streets of Chicago to the national stage, he cultivated a presence that was steady, warm, and unwavering, a rare combination that allowed him to touch the lives of millions while remaining grounded in his own. His departure from the show was not dramatic, scandalous, or sudden. It was a deliberate, thoughtful choice to honor family, personal values, and the life he had built beyond the studio lights. Even as he stepped away, his influence endured. Through mentorship, guidance, and the deep respect he fostered for colleagues, contestants, and viewers alike, Sajak left a legacy defined by dignity and care. The audience learned that behind the iconic smile was a man of calm strength, devotion, and profound humanity. Pat Sajak transformed a simple game show into a cultural institution while never losing sight of what truly mattered. His story reminds us that true success is measured not by applause but by the integrity and love we carry into every chapter of life. For more emotional stories, check out this video.